welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a listener's request and diving headfirst into Perry Marshall's ultimate guide to Facebook advertising.
That's right.
Think of this as your shortcut to really understanding what makes advertising tick on, well, this massive platform. Our mission is to pull out the key strategies, the surprising insights, and, the truly actionable advice to help you cut through the noise and advertise effectively.
Absolutely. The world of online marketing can feel like, well, drinking from a fire hose sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
What we want to do in this deep dive is to distill the essential knowledge from Marshall's guide. We'll focus on the core principles and practical steps that can make a tangible difference for you right now.
And it's crucial to set the stage correctly. Facebook advertising isn't just about posting and, crossing your fingers.
No, none of it.
It's a unique beast with a fundamentally different engine than platforms like Google. Understanding that engine is the first step to harnessing its power. Okay, let's unpack this.
Right. And the very first part of that engine to understand is this. Facebook was built for people, for users, not for advertisers.
Right.
It might sound obvious, but this single fact has huge implications for how the whole platform operates. When Mark Zuckerberg started this in a dorm room, his focus was on connecting students, not on selling clicks.
Which is how it exploded organically, right? From just a small college network to this global giant connecting billions of us through this social graph, this web of friends, family interests, all those shared connections. The scale is almost unbelievable.
It really is. We're talking billions of people checking in daily, the average person connected to hundreds of others, and just a constant flood of new content.
And it's truly global now, isn't it? Most users outside the U.S.?
Oh, absolutely. The vast majority. And what's fascinating here is how Facebook's vision quickly expanded beyond just its own website. They wanted to be the connective tissue of the entire internet.
Right.
And they actively built that through things like the Facebook platform, allowing external developers to build apps right inside Facebook, and Facebook Connect, integrating the Facebook login into other websites.
Like Farmville. I remember that.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of a third-party app living entirely within the Facebook world.
So this massive interconnected space becomes the playing field for advertisers like us. And as Marshall puts it so directly, our core goal boils down to a simple equation, right?
Yeah, basically. Buy a click for $1 and turn it into 2.
Simple as that. Well, simple in concept.
Yeah, right. It's a fundamental business principle applied to a very modern platform.
Okay.
Precisely. And with that goal in mind, the first really important question for you to consider is Facebook advertising even the right fit for your business?
Good question.
Marshall is quite blunt about this. Some products, he says, practically sell themselves on Facebook, while others can be a real uphill battle.
He makes a really insightful point about local businesses, the ones with a physical presence.
Yeah.
If your business has a location where customers walk in, a dentist, a restaurant, a local shop, Facebook is very likely to be a powerful tool.
The potential for running really cost-effective campaigns that target people in your immediate area is just enormous.
And what about businesses that connect with, identity or beliefs?
Yeah. If what you offer connects strongly with people's identities, their personal beliefs, convictions, political, religious, social nest, Facebook's incredibly detailed targeting options can give you a significant edge.
Because you can reach those specific groups.
Exactly. Connecting with people who share those core values can be a really powerful way to build an audience.
But he also cautions, right? If your product needs a lot of explaining.
He does. If your product or service requires a lot of in-depth explanation and education before someone's ready to buy, then Facebook alone might not be enough. You might need other ways to educate potential customers outside the platform.
Like videos or articles.
Yeah, videos, detailed articles, maybe email sequences. He even mentions a quiz as a tool to help businesses assess if Facebook advertising is the right starting point for them.
Interesting.
And for those just getting started with digital marketing or, local businesses that score well on that is Facebook for me assessment, Marshall actually suggests Facebook paid ads can be an excellent initial source of traffic.
So it can be a good place to start for some.
It definitely can, yeah. Speaks to its accessibility.
Okay, so you've decided to give it a shot. Now you're faced with all this jargon. Let's break down some essential concepts. First up, what does a Facebook ad actually look like?
Right. Marshall refers to a figure, but the core elements are pretty straightforward. You've got the title, that top line grabs attention, the image or video, absolutely critical for stopping the scroll,
right,
and the body text, where you elaborate on your offer and put your call to action.
Got it. Title, image, body. And how do we know if people are actually clicking?
That's where click-through rate, or CTR, comes in. It's fundamental. It tells you what percentage of people who see your ad actually click on it.
So a direct measure of engagement.
Exactly, a really direct measure.
Okay, what about bidding? I see maximum bid.
Right, the bidding process. Your maximum bid is the absolute most you're willing to pay for a single click. Now, Marshall calls the word bid a bit misleading at first.
Oh, how so?
Because while a higher bid can help your ad get shown more initially, other factors like your ad CTR and the feedback people give it, those become increasingly important over time. They affect the actual cost and how often your ad appears.
Ah, so it's not just about the highest bid winning.
Not entirely, no. Quality and relevance matter a lot.
Okay, then there's reach versus frequency.
Yeah, need to get our heads around this one. Reach is the number of unique individuals who saw your ad.
Okay, unique people.
Whereas frequency is the average number of times each of those individuals saw it. He even includes a graphic showing potential audience versus actual reach.
And if frequency gets too high?
That's when you hit ad fatigue. People get tired of seeing the same ad over and over, and your CTR starts to drop. It's natural on Facebook.
Right. And impressions?
Impressions is simpler, just the total number of times your ad was displayed. Doesn't matter if it's the same person multiple times.
Okay. And landing page?
That's just the destination. Where people go after they click your ad. Could be your website, could be a Facebook page.
All right, basics covered. Now, how do you actually create that first ad without getting totally overwhelmed? Marshall offers a 10-minute overview.
Yes, and the key, he says, is start small.
Small budget.
Yeah, he strongly recommends a small test, maybe just $10 to get a feel for it.
$10. Okay.
Then the main steps. Design the ad. That means choosing your destination, your Facebook page, a group, an event, an app, or an external website. And writing your ad copy, headline, and body text.
And he warns against using Facebook suggested ads.
He does. Strongly advises against the automated suggest an ad feature. You need to control your own message.
Makes sense. Then targeting.
Right. Decide who sees the ad. Demographics like age and gender, sure, but crucially, interests.
And these are based on profiles, not search.
Exactly. Based on what people have explicitly liked and stated in their profiles, it's not like Google keywords. And you can also target by geographic location, of course.
Okay. Then budget and schedule.
Yep. Choose a daily budget or a lifetime budget for the whole campaign. Decide how long it runs.
And finally,
place your order. Select your payment method. He notes Facebook might limit your daily spend at first, but that can increase as you build a good track record.
Got it. Now let's dive into something Marshall really emphasizes, the visuals, that quirky little image.
Oh yeah, this is huge. He stresses that compelling images can dramatically boost your click-through rates.
It's about stopping the scroll, right?
Absolutely. The primary job of your image is to grab attention in that incredibly busy newsfeed, make people stop scrolling and actually want to read your ad. It's a pattern interrupt.
So what kind of images work best?
Well, he suggests pictures of people, especially looking at the viewer that draws the eye.
Okay.
Pictures of things relevant to your offer. Pictures with words, but keep the text really readable in that small space.
Tricky.
It can be. And even images that are a little unexpected, maybe even silly, anything that stands out.
And the image needs to connect to the text.
Key point. Connect the image directly to the message. And remember, ad fatigue. Even good images wear out.
So you need to keep testing new ones.
Constantly. Keep things fresh. He talks about image extreme makeovers and quick draw ads to revitalize visuals. He also covers dealing with rejected images, finding stock photos, and recommends some editing tools.
What about image size?
Really important point he makes. Use as much of the available space as possible, maximize that visual impact, stick to aspect ratios like 4.3 or 16.9 so they display properly.
Good tip. Okay. From visuals to words. Marshall calls copywriting a $10,000 per hour skill. That's bold.
It is bold, but he argues that the ability to write effective ad copy is just incredibly valuable on Facebook.
And the copy changes based on your goals.
Exactly. Your specific goals influence the kind of copy you write. Crafting insanely good titles is absolutely crucial.
How do you do that?
He suggests using target audience triggers. Like, if you're targeting homeschoolers, use homeschool in the headline.
He says.
Or use curiosity. 7 secrets to die. Filling in the blank with a benefit.
Okay. And the body text.
Needs to be persuasive, clear call to action, tell people what to do next, and focus on the benefit to the customer, not just listing features.
Right. Sell the sizzle, not the steak.
Kind of, yeah. And use power words.
Power words.
Words that trigger emotion. amazing, free, powerful, secret. Experiment with combinations.
He really pushes learning copywriting as an ongoing thing.
Yeah, a commitment. Successful ads need that combo. Compelling image, attention-grabbing headline, and an irresistible offer.
And the landing page goal isn't always an immediate sale.
Often not, initially. Often the goal is just to engage, get their contact info, like an email, so you can continue the conversation.
Okay, that leads nicely into hidden psychological triggers. Sounds intriguing.
It is. Marshall positions the advertiser almost as a thought writer, subtly influencing beliefs and actions through carefully crafted words.
Wow. And he talks about shifting from direct attack ads to right-angle marketing. What's that?
Okay, so direct attack is obvious, hitting the main need directly. Right-angle marketing is more indirect, often more effective on Facebook. It's finding unexpected connections or shared interests within your audience.
Like that story he tells.
Yeah, the mail-order bride service for Christian men. Advertising in Christian magazines was direct, right?
Yeah, logical.
But the breakthrough, the right angle, was discovering many customers were truck drivers. Advertising in trucking publications was much more effective, even though it wasn't the obvious connection.
So looking for surprising overlaps in interests.
Yeah.
Like his manure vacuum in a Civil War magazine example.
Exactly. Seems odd, but maybe lots of Civil War reenactors also own horses.
Huh.
And Facebook, with all its interest data, helps uncover these right angles. You can test these less obvious connections relatively cheaply.
So look beyond the obvious categories.
Definitely. Explore magazine niches, other interest groups with surprising connections, like checks advertised in a dog magazine or Alaskan cruises in an arthritis magazine. Seemingly unrelated, but maybe hitting a motivated niche.
He mentioned responder profiles too, though that's gone now.
Yeah, that feature is gone, but the principle is vital. It showed other interests of people who liked your page.
So the takeaway is...
The takeaway is that likes and interests aren't just keywords. They're clues to mindset, lifestyle, passions. Use these related interests in your ads, landing pages, follow-up. Build a stronger connection.
And ad fatigue signals it's time for a new angle.
Exactly. It's a sign to try a new right angle, shift the conversation.
Which brings us to Facebook anthropology, digging deep for targeting goal.
Yeah, like an anthropologist studying a culture. Use Facebook search itself to find psychographic targets. Search for niche publications like the Old Schoolhouse magazine for homeschoolers.
Try different spellings too, he says.
Crucial, people don't always use the obvious phrasing.
What about anthropology at the interest ad interface?
Some neat tricks there, like the alphabet search. Type your main interest, then a space, then A, then B, C. Facebook suggests related interests you might miss.
Oh, clever.
And create dummy ads you set up with different targets, but don't run just to explore the options Facebook offers.
He also mentions broad categories like family status.
Yeah, those can be gold mines. Things like engaged, newlywed, parents of kids aged X to Y, super specific life stages.
And even using Google for insights.
Right. Search Google for your main interests. Look at related searches, news, blogs. It gives clues about language concerns, other interests, even if those exact keywords aren't targetable on Facebook. Still valuable intel.
Okay, so you've got ads running. How do you figure out what's working? Split testing.
Exactly. Marshall calls it the secret weapon. The idea is aim tiny and miss small, run small controlled experiments to learn fast.
Testing small variations.
Yeah, tiny changes in different parts of the funnel. The ad itself, the landing page.
What specific ad elements should you test?
He stresses testing the image, the headline, text, word order, punctuation, and the body text, the offer, call to action, sentence structure.
And you need enough data before deciding.
Definitely. Run tests until you have enough impressions for statistical significance. He mentioned splittester.com to check reliability. Then pause the losers, keep testing new ideas.
And don't just look at overall performance.
Right. Dig into demographics and location data for each variation. An ad might look average overall, but be killing it with, say, men in California.
He has that 70% rule too.
Yeah, suggesting the image often contributes around 70% of the effectiveness. Huge impact.
So test images thoroughly.
Absolutely. And while testing one thing at a time is clean, he also says sometimes, especially if you're stuck, test multiple variables at once. Try for bigger breakthroughs. Embrace wonderful failures.
Failures as learning experiences.
Exactly. And split testing is key for combating ad fatigue. Constantly rotate fresh ads, try new angles.
Got it. Let's shift to bidding strategies. CPC versus CPM.
Right. CPC is cost per click you pay when someone clicks. CPM is cost per mil or 1,000 impressions you pay for views, essentially, regardless of clicks.
And CPM can be better sometimes.
It can. Marshall shares a case study, a wine fair campaign that got a super low cost per click using targeted CPM bidding.
So when would you choose CPM?
He suggests it when you have a very well-defined targeted audience and you expect a high CTR. Also, if you can monitor performance closely, because CPM can be prone to fatigue. And if you scored high on his "Is Facebook for me?" test,
You can even calculate potential savings.
yeah, comparing CPC versus CPM costs based on your expected CTR. And when setting CPM bids, start low, increase incrementally until the ad starts showing.
He gives that crazy example of super cheap click.
Oh yeah, like 0.1 cent per click equivalent. Targeting passionate niches like 80s hard rock fans in Hungary. Highly specific targeting makes CPM viable.
Wow. Okay, so clicks need a good destination. The power of landing pages.
Crucial element, the main goals. Get a like for your page and capture contact info, usually email to provide value later.
So deliver on the ads promise immediately.
Instantly. If you offered info, give it right there. Key elements: headline reinforcing the offer, a bit more detail, privacy statement, and the opt-in form.
What happens after opt-in?
Think about next steps. Another interesting page. Automated emails. Keep them engaged.
And he prefers Facebook's own landing pages.
He argues they can potentially double opt-in rates compared to sending traffic straight to your website. Worth testing.
Different types of landing pages, too.
Yeah, minimal ones, long-form persuasive ones for high-value offers, even squeeze pages that require a like before the opt-in. And think about a chain of pages and offers to nurture the lead.
Makes sense. But how do you know if any of this is working? Tracking and measurement.
Absolutely vital. Track where clicks come from, what happens after, measure conversions, calculate cost per conversion, often means using third-party tracking URLs.
On UTM parameters. Sounds technical.
They're just special tags you add to your ad links. Let's Google Analytics show exactly which ad, campaign, even which wording led to a conversion. Super detailed, super useful.
And the Facebook page itself has value beyond ads.
Definitely. Builds social proof street cred. Helps you understand who your audience is. And he strongly recommends sending ad traffic to your Facebook page first, not your website initially,
Wow.
to leverage Facebook's social engagement. He outlines a multi-step process on the page: offer a like for content, offer an opt-in for something free, then maybe present more info or offers potentially off Facebook.
Clever. Okay, we've talked about reaching new people. What about advertising to your fans?
Yeah, Facebook is unique for talking to people who already like you. Marshall calls it like having a targeted opt-in banner ad just for your fans. Direct access.
Especially good for local businesses.
Hugely valuable. Promote specials, events, brand reminders, often at low cost.
But there's a catch, like inflation.
Right. And the newsfeed algorithm. Your organic reach, how many fans see your regular posts for free drops if fans don't engage? Likes, comments, shares matter.
So you might need paid ads even to reach your own fans.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
Specifically targeting them with paid ads called sponsored stories.
What kinds are there?
Two main types he mentions. Page like story targets friends of fans, saying their friend liked your page. Great social proof.
Okay.
And page post story boosts your regular status updates so more of your existing fans see them in their feed.
Got it. Now, the big debate. Free traffic, free impressions, and paid advertising.
Marshall has strong opinions here. He warns against relying only on free traffic like SEO. It's unstable.
Tells that story about the valuable SEO business.
Yeah, a 3-on-year SEO business seen as less valuable than a new venture with paid traffic potential because SEO can vanish overnight with algorithm changes.
So a sustainable business needs to be able to buy traffic.
Needs to be able to buy advertising from various sources and convert it profitably. That's stability.
What about status updates as free ads?
They can be, but reach depends heavily on engagement. He uses the metric X impressions, Y % feedback. You need enough likes, comments, shares, or Facebook stops showing your posts.
Don't spam your fans either.
Definitely not. Monitor unlikes, focus on engaging content, ask open-ended questions, use fill-in-the-blanks, run polls, share interesting facts linked to their values.
Subtle ways to get likes, too.
Yeah, offer a small reward for a funny comment, encourage fans to share valuable posts, and participate. Like and comment on their posts. Build community.
He even mentions managing your own feed.
Right, to make sure you see content from pages you value. And check page insights regularly for data on performance.
Okay, ad fatigue keeps coming up. Laser-guided marketing, keeping the conversation fresh.
He reframes ad fatigue. It's not failure. It's a natural signal to change the subject, like someone talking too long at a party.
So what's the tool for changing the subject?
Facebook events. They are really effective for re-engaging a tired audience. Events have a specific time, creating immediacy. They don't just fade away like ads.
What kind of events?
Lots of ideas. Ask Me Anything sessions, guest speakers, virtual author events, online clubs, virtual shows. And it's often affordable to invite your page likers via ads.
So Facebook is more dynamic than Google Ads.
Fundamentally different. Google Ads can often run long-term. Facebook is a conversation, needs fresh content, evolving messages.
And Facebook's influence goes beyond Facebook.com. Facebook beyond Facebook.
Yeah, the key is Facebook Connect, integrating Facebook features into your own website.
Like logging in with Facebook.
Exactly. Users can log in with Facebook credentials. With permission, you get their real identity, maybe profile pic, email, interests, smoother experience.
He recommends offering it.
Strongly. If you advertise on Facebook, it's easier for users, gives you insights, though Facebook usually requires you offer a traditional login option too.
What about Facebook comments on your site?
Powerful. Requires a real Facebook ID to comment, helps moderation. You can also embed a live comment stream for active sites or events. And Connect gives analytics on sharing from your site.
But he warns against only using Facebook.
Yes, a strong caution. Don't build your entire presence just on a Facebook page. He calls it digital serfdom. Own your platform, your website.
And always be ethical.
Absolutely.
Right.
A white hat, user-respectful approach is essential.
Okay, for context, he looks back at Google's history to predict Facebook's future.
Right. Learning from AdWords evolution to avoid pitfalls on Facebook. Quick history. Early paid search. Go to Overture. Then Google's disruptions factoring CTR into ranking, emphasizing ad quality.
The lesson from Yahoo.
Yeah, they didn't adapt quickly enough. Even a small disadvantage can snowball. So, predictions for Facebook based on Google.
What are they?
Increased competition, tighter rules for affiliates need a real business, not just affiliate links, and rising importance of best practices. He also draws parallels to infomercials, competitive, need to grab attention fast.
And the rise of the individual entrepreneur.
Yeah, platforms like Facebook empower that lone wolf entrepreneurship, reaching global audiences.
Finally, Marshall offers some practical business advice. Mind your business, the one long shot and 3 fish in a barrel idea.
Yeah, it's a strategic framework about diversifying and managing risk.
Break that down.
The long shot is your big, ambitious, long-term project. High potential reward, but high uncertainty.
Okay. And the fish in a barrel.
Those are smaller, immediate, easily achievable projects. Generate consistent income, ease financial pressure, prevent bad decisions made out of fear. Consulting is his main example.
Don't get lost in the long shot.
Exactly. Don't neglect the fish in a barrel. They pay the bills, provide experience, have multiple backup plans too.
He also touches on the tougher realities.
Yeah, navigating regulations, small businesses needing to band together, and the importance of being real, in-person connections matter too. He ends with a personal story about overcoming fear, like entrepreneurship itself.
So bringing it all together, this deep dive really shows Facebook advertising has huge potential, but you need strategy.
Totally. Understand it's user first, leverage the targeting, and commit to testing and adapting constantly.
It's a dynamic conversation, not a static billboard.
Exactly. It's that digital front porch conversation.
The real value is taking these insights and actually applying them.
Absolutely. Experiment, learn, refine. That's the key.
Okay, and with that, here's a final thought for you to consider. Now that you have this deeper understanding of Facebook's workings, its evolution, what unexpected right angles or untapped opportunities might you be overlooking in your market or with your audience?
What new conversations could you start?
Well, new conversations on that incredibly busy digital front porch. That's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.